Okay, we're going to look at another way to understand fractions. So here's our favourite basic friend, 1/2. Now 1/2 can be written as 1 over 2 means 1 divided by 2. Okay, so that division sign sits in between 1 and 2 in this fraction here. And let's just get my pointer tool back. So 1 over 2 is 1 with a division sign over 2. So you can think of this as a division, and the division sign itself means one number on top, one number on the bottom, and the number here we have is the 1, and we could just rearrange that fraction 1/2 as 1 divided by 2 like that. So thinking of it as a division, we can divide 1 into 2 pieces. So I've got this little cookie tool here. I've got 2 friends to share 1 cookie with. So I'll put on the board and I'm going to cut it into 2 equal pieces. So I'm going to use this cutter here, which is a halves. It cuts 1 cookie into 2 halves. And 1 divided by 2 is this amount each. Okay, so that's the answer to that division equation. I hope you're making links here with improper fractions or less than 1. So this idea, this division of starting with 1 and dividing by a bigger number or sharing with more than one person is giving us a smaller piece than 1. So that size cookie, a half, is less than 1. Let's have a look at another one. Very familiar one also is 1 cookie or 1 whole split up 3 ways. Okay, so 1 divided by 3 as a division is needing to have 3 mates. So let's have her, and him. 3 friends that I'm going to divide the 1 cookie up between. So I'm going to use a cutter that evenly cuts that cookie into 3 equal bits. So 1 cookie divided into 3 bits gives me 1/3 of a cookie each. Okay, so 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. And I can do that with any number of friends, my 1 cookie, any number of divisions. So let's get some more friends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 friends to be shared, 1 cookie to be shared by 5 friends. So 1 cookie here is to be divided up or shared into 5 equal sizes. Let's use this one here. That looks like they're the same size each. So each mate gets 1/5 of a cookie. One divided by into 5 sections or 5 equal pieces gives us 1/5 each. Now, what if I had 2 cookies between 3 friends? According to this pattern, they should get 2/3 of a cookie each. So let's see how that works out. Let's make this thing smaller so we can see it next to the equations at the same time. I need 3 mates and I need 2 cookies to share. So I'm sharing 2 split 3 ways, 1 for each of my 3 mates. So I'm going to take this cookie here and use my thirds cutter. And so I'm sharing the first cookie into thirds each, so that's the same as this one, 1 divided by 3, but I need to divide 2 into 3. So I'm going to get my second cookie and also divide that into 3 size bits. So it looks like each mate gets 2/3 of a cookie each. So if I join up their cookie, that's the size of the pie there, which is 2/3 each. So 2/3 here very wobbly thirds, but each person gets that amount and that amount each. So that's for one person. I'm going to do crosses for the second person. They get 2/3, and my third mate will get dot dot that 2/3. So that's sort of the shape that it looks like. 2/3 each, but I cut it up into thirds for each cookie. I said I could do any size shape, so let's look at 2 divided by 6. So I'm sharing 2 wholes 6 ways, 6 mates. So that should give me 2/6 each. What does that look like? It's a 6, 2 out of 6. So I think I need 6 mates, and I'm going to need 2 oatmeal cookies, and I'm going to divide it 6 ways. So I'm going to use my 6th cutter for my first cookie, and so each person gets a 1/6 of one cookie, and they also get a 1/6 of the second cookie. They have 2/6 each. Now I've just joined up the cookies for these guys here, and that's a very familiar looking amount. I'm thinking that each person here, let's put all the cookies back, let's put one cookie back and another cookie back. I'm thinking that if I used the thirds cutter, so if I divided one cookie evenly up for the first 3 people, they can have a 1/3 each. And then I can do the same with the second cookie, and these guys could also have a 1/3 each. Let's give it back to her. So 2/6 is exactly the same as 1/3 of a cookie. So either each cookie divide by 6 and each person gets 1 from the first cookie or 1 from the second cookie, so 2/6, or 1/3. Now they're called equivalent fractions. So the fact that 2/6 is equal to 1/3 shows equivalency of those 2 fraction sizes. Okay, which is quite important. I'll show you another equivalency if we had 3 cookies to share with these mates here. So let's change the rules. New game. We're still going to have 6 friends, but this time we're going to share 3 cookies amongst 6 friends. So we're looking at 3 shared or divided by 6. So I can rewrite that division as 3 over 6, 3 divided by 6. And that's the answer to that division. They'll get 3/6 of a cookie each. Let's see what that looks like. One more cookie. One, two, three. Okay. Now I can either divide each cookie up into 6 and split out 1/6 each. First cookie gone evenly. Everybody's the same, so let's do the same with the next cookie. 6 pieces, easy. So we're sharing this 1/6 again. So that means each person now, if you're counting, each friend has got 1/6 plus 1/6, they've got 2/6 each already, because that's what 2/6 looks like. And then another 1/6, which adds to 3/6. 2/6 plus 1/6 is 3/6 each. Now check this out. Let's join up the pieces that they have. What size fraction does that look like to you? Three bits out of 6. If we look at the shape of her cookie there, she looks like she's got about half a cookie. So let's put them all back and see if we share them out in halves, that they'll all get exactly the same amount. Look at that. So 3/6 is the same as a half, as a division. Three parts out of 6. Which is a more refined answer, but they are the same. 3/6 and 1/2 is the same. Let's look at another one. 2 cookies shared amongst 5 friends, 2 divided by 5. I'm thinking 2/5 each. What does 2/5 look like? I think I'm going to need some friends. 5 friends, 2 oatmeal cookies, 2 cookies shared with 5 friends. So I'm going to use the cutter that has 5 equal segments to give them 1/5 of one cookie first, and that's evenly shared, so that cookie's gone, and then 1/5 of this cookie. So they get 1/5 and 1/5 is 2/5. Even Stevens. Another way we could do it, if we put them all back, cut this into fifths, but we'll just share it out this way. We'll give this guy 2 and he's done with. We'll give this mate 2 and she's done with, and she hasn't got 2 yet. She's got 1/5. 2/5 is her, so she's done. And our 4th mate over here, 2/5, and our friend at the end, she's got 2/5 pieces as well. So that's one way of looking at fractions as division. So when you see the fraction 4/6, you can think of it as 4 wholes divided into 6 pieces. So I'll tell you what, I'll divide that into two bits, or amongst 2 friends. So here's the first 2 cookies, and there's the second 2 cookies for 2 friends. But I've got 6 friends, so I think 3 of them need to share these 2 cookies. Three need to share 2, and my other 3 friends, so I've got 6, remember, need to share these cookies. So a good cut for all the cookies, because I've got 3 friends here, I'm thinking thirds. So if I split this first cookie here into 3 bits, and this the same, and each of my 3 friends could probably have 2/3 each. 1, 2 each. So and my next friend here can have that 1, 2, 2/3, and my next friend here can have 1/3 and 1/3, 2/3 as well. Let's get this first scribbly one that we did, and we'll shade it in blue. Okay, because you see that there's 2 yellow bits the same, 1/3 and 1/3, 2/3. So each person gets 2/3 each, and I do the same on this side, of course. I divide my 2 into thirds, and each person can have first that, 1/3, 2/3. So 4 divided by 6 is giving me 4 divided by 6 is giving me 2/3 of 1. So I need 6 mates. I need 3 cookies. No, I don't. I need 4 cookies because I'm dividing them by 6. And let's use the thirds cutter. And I reckon each one of them gets 2/3. So let's just start sharing them out. She's now got 2/3. And my friend in the blue top has got 1/3, 2/3. This guy here has now got 2/3. 1/3's going over to friend number 5. And another third. And then my last mate also gets 2/3 of a cookie. So when I join it up, I can see that 2/3 shape that I was trying to show with the coloured pies on this side. So if we have a look at this, it's similar to, say, those 2 reds, or the 2 yellows, or the 2 blues. Okay, so 4, 6, this is also showing equivalence, similar fractions, so I'll just write that here in black so you can see it. 4/6 is the same as 4 whole cookies shared between 6 friends. So they get 4/6 of a fraction, or 2/3. Why do they get 4/6? Let's have a look at that idea. I'm going to put 1 back. I'm going to put them all back. Let's look at this differently. If I use my 6th cutter, there's 6 pieces here. 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6. I'm going to join them up. Now the shape of that fraction is still 2/3, but it also looks like 4 out of 6. So could you see that it's 2/3? Of course it is. If I put 5/6 and 6/6 back, each 2 is worth 1/3. Alright, so I'm going to take 1/3 away and give them to her. So she's now got 2/6, or 1/3. Four sixths. I hope you're following this. I'm doing it the hard way. 1, 2, 3. Oops, I've cut it into thirds. So let's put 1 back. Cookie gets divided into 6 pieces, and they get 4/6, which I'm proposing to you is 2/3 of 1. When you look at equivalency or equivalent fractions, you'll see this idea as well. 2, 3, 4/6 of 1 cookie. 2/6 of the rest of that 1 cookie can go there. 3/6 and 4/6 to you. And this guy here gets the last 4/6 or 2/3 of a cookie. Okay, so they've all got the same amount, So they either have 4/6 each. We can see the 4/6 pieces here when we use the 6th cutter. This one here, sorry, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6. 4 out of 6 leaves 2 behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's also the same as these 2/3 pieces here. One hole. Very crudely chopped up into 6th pieces, all the same size. 4 out of 6 is the same as 2 out of 3, and this is because every 2 out of 6 is already a third. So here's a third here, a third here, and a third here. Is their equivalent. So 2/6 equals a third. Okay, and 4/6 So we need to colour on a further 2 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4/6. Looks like 2/3 of this whole cookie anyway. We're leaving a third behind. 4/6 is equal to 2/3. Okay, so it's all about sharing. It's all about dividing equally, and we can look at a fraction and divide out 4 wholes as wholes divided by 6 even sized cuts for every whole, and it strangely gives us familiar fractions, although it doesn't seem it at first. Hope that makes sense.